today, this is like all over the place, man, I'm telling you. So I've done so many things in the meantime. This is like way after the fact that I'm filming this, and I've already recorded a ton of stuff for some dirt bikes that I had bought. I bought a 125cc, and then I bought a 250cc. I was working on this little bike here for the longest time, and I don't know where these videos are all gonna end up and line up with each other. But anyways, what we're doing today is I have this bike here, and I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid, so stupid the way that I did this thing, because I got this engine and right now I can't get it started. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm gonna take it out and I'm going to end up fixing this engine, get it running out of the bike. And once I can take this thing out, I was thinking about putting the little 50 or 49 or 50cc two-stroke engine back in, right? And so I was just gonna get this thing running because I kind of wanted to scoot around on this thing, kind of buzz around in my neighborhood and stuff with this. Basically what I'm gonna do today is take this engine out and put this one back in. The reason I took this one out to begin with is because the pull cord broke on it, but I actually bought another pull cord from Amazon for like 20 bucks. So I hope that this fits. If it doesn't fit, then we're not doing nothing today. Well, at least I'll take this out and then get it ready for this. What I'm saying is that I'm so stupid though, because when I put this in, I was like, oh, it fits better this way. I'm just gonna put it in that way. What the heck is wrong with me? You can't put it in this way because the engine only spins one way. So me thinking that I can just flip the wheel over and put the chain on the other side or do whatever, it doesn't work that way. There's stop and there's go on this thing, right? So it's like, it's not gonna spin in a different direction, or else it would be in reverse, and these engines are not even that. It doesn't spin in reverse, right? Like, you'd have to have a transmission that makes it spin in reverse, or makes the wheel spin in reverse, right? So it's either stop or it's go, and go is not that right way. So if I hook the chain up to this thing's just gonna go zing and go straight backwards. So anyways, what I'm gonna do with this bike, I'm gonna take this thing out. Oh man, it's a beast though. I don't know, you'll see in the video before this, I'll put a link to the video before this. Basically, I've extended this frame to make this engine fit, which I still, even when I fix this engine, I'm gonna have to flip it around and put the drive on this side. When that does happen, I'm gonna have to lower the bottom plate on there. Bottom plate is huge, big, thick, like 1/4-inch steel. So I'm gonna have to drop that down to make it fit like this instead of the way it is now, like that. But I'm gonna keep this fuel tank on here for that little engine because the tank that was on there, it doesn't last very long. This one's bigger. There's a little bit of fuel in it right now. I'm going to probably drain it and throw a little bit of two-stroke oil in it just to be able to make a proper mix so this thing doesn't overheat. If I do that, I can just buzz it over to a gas station and get some more fuel. So I'm gonna take this thing out. I'm gonna have to make different brackets for this little one. So I might cut these ones off or cut one of them off to make a proper bracket for that. Put the chain on. I cut the chain, so I'm gonna have to weld it back together, which is pretty janky, but it is what it is. The good thing about this is the fact that I cut the chain isn't actually all that bad, I don't think, because if that's bad, then I can link it back up together somehow and then just weld it together. And I can put this little engine here wherever I want. So it's not like it has to be in the same place it was before. So anyways, that's the order of business tonight. That's what I'm doing. Welcome to the video. I'm just gonna get going on this and start removing some stuff. Okay, so check this out, right? So this doesn't fit. It's too small, but like, I don't want to waste time tonight because this is what I came here to do. So this is only 20 bucks, so I don't really care all that much. So what I'm going to do, I've put these bolts in here. These are not the ones that come with it. There's different ones that go into this, which I'll use later. This thing, what happens with this is when you pull the cord, this thing pops out. This thing pops out and extends, and then it catches this, and then it turns that, right? That's how this thing functions. It needs to sit up just above this so it doesn't catch while this thing is running, because this is connected to the piston. So as this thing will turn as the engine's running. So I need to sit it up just a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these bolts in, and then I'm gonna make some kind of bracket, basically. Somehow, this is just an example, but basically something that clears this, but then something that I can weld to this, and then it can basically be like this little mounting bracket for this thing to sit where it needs to sit, and then I can put the 3 screws in that need to go in. That's what I'm gonna do, because this thing will function like it's the same pattern here that it is there, so it will function. It's just that it's too small. So I'm gonna make a bracket and make that work. Doesn't matter how long it takes me. I got nothing to do tonight other than this. So that's that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna figure it out first before I start filming, but once I figure out what exactly I'm gonna do, then I will film myself doing that. Okay, so this is the stupidity that I've come up with. So I put a bolt in here. I'm gonna weld it to this thing, and I put bolts and nuts in this thing, and I'm gonna weld it to that thing, and then this thing is not going to move anywhere. And if it doesn't work, I'll cut it out. This thing's garbage to me anyways. Instead of sending it back, I'm gonna make a trial and error. If it works, that's amazing. If it doesn't, then we'll just end up getting something else. For now, I'm gonna try that that and see if it works. Okay, so I didn't record any of that because it took me quite a while. It just required my full attention to line that up. I measured it. I put some spacers between it to simulate the proper distance. I welded these things up, so now this is sturdy on there, so it can fully pull and it's stationary, but you can see the mechanism inside. When you pull it, the thing comes out and actuates. So I had to make the proper distance so that when this thing spins, it doesn't catch on it. That's all good. I think that that should hold. So when that thing spins, I didn't want it to catch on that. So basically, I hope that holds. If it holds, that's great. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But my whole point of doing this was that if this thing fails at some point, so like if the string breaks, just like the last one did, the point is that I didn't ruin the threads inside of where the housing actually goes for a proper sized one. If at any point this fails, I'll order a bigger one, but in the meantime I can utilize this one, and if it works, then it works. That's perfect. Like I say, if at any time it fails, then I'll just order the proper size one for this, or one that's bigger or whatever. Hopefully I could get the proper size, but basically right now this took forever, but I'm gonna let that cool off, and then I'm gonna start disassembling this engine off of this bike, and then we're gonna make up some bracket to house that little engine back in the engine bay, because, or the engine frame, because I changed it at some point to accommodate this bigger engine. This bigger engine's going back in it at some point. It's just that I want something for the time being. I'm gonna make a bracket that will fit this little engine and make it sturdy, and then we'll go from there. So I got this bike up on this paint bucket, and I'm just gonna take this engine out and actually remove the fuel tank for now, because there is fuel in it. I don't want to catch that thing on fire by accident. So if at the very least I'll just take the hose and stick it up so I don't catch it on fire when I'm welding. I'm gonna take this engine out right now. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. So I just got that plate welded in there just to hold this engine in place. I have it bolted up to here. I put a bracket on there. I got the chain welded on the one spot. I was just banging it with like a channel lock here just to kind of free it up, because it's really tense. Like, so when you pull it through here, kind of wants to bind up on that small sprocket. But I think when you go fast it's fine, but you can see it just kind of jerks a little bit. So I think that will be okay once I get riding and whatever, but if it's not, then I'll just get a new chain or something. Big deal. Big problem happened here. So this socket right there, I don't have access to that breaker, and it blew, and so now nothing in there works, which blows. And now I have to put my wire lights here in this on an extension cord, and my welder's plugged over there. And the problem is, I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, but the power keeps blowing on that fuse, and I have a panel here, but it's literally every flipping 10 seconds. It's such a piece of crap. So pretty pissed off about that. I don't like that at all. Sucks that, like, you know, you're renting a space and you can't even, like, a space to do stuff like this, and I can't even use my welder. Like, piece of crap. So anyways, I'm going to get this fuel run here. I'm going to get the throttle back on, start doing a few other things, and then see if this thing will fire up. Okay, so I'm at a complete standstill right now because I must have at some point thrown out the harness that goes to the spark plug and crankshaft sensor and all that. So I don't know what to do with this right now because I don't have anything. I was looking through some wires and stuff to see if I could like make something work, but it's not going to work for that. So I'm just going to have to get back to this another time, because I don't know, I was doing like scrap metal and I threw out some, like, a whole bunch of wires and stuff. I must have just grabbed them within the wires. Like, they were sitting right here with my engine harness there for my BMW, but it's not there. So I have no idea. I don't know. So I just cleaned up everything. Later on, I'm gonna get that, and then basically all that needs to be done is running fuel, run the throttle, and also the throttle, the pin, I must have lost the cylinder somewhere, so I don't know. That's a thing. So I'm missing a few parts. So I'm gonna try to get some stuff, and then we'll get back to this later on to get this engine running and back together. But I was having trouble with the tension of the chain because of the engine and like the position of it, but now it's all good. I just need to support it just a little bit more so it doesn't wiggle back and forth. But other than that, it's all good. I'm gonna get back to this another time. I'm not sure when, but yeah, I don't know. Might end the video here.